Hello guys and welcome to round 13 of GPVWC's Formula Sprint 2. I'm Toby Davis and I'm joined by Menno Klont. And we see today the return of Ruben Macheda, who will be hoping to capitalise on some good form and get back into the championship hunt. Welcome Menno. Firstly, I want to ask you about him. He does look quick here today, and him and his teammate Stephen Lexo both looking to get points and catch back up to get back into the championship fight. What do you think?
Well, of course, we know how good the team is and how good they can score. So it will be a very interesting round for Ruben and for Stephen. But yeah, this is Singapore, and Singapore is always a bit tricky. It's more or less a casino where you can, it can go really well, it can go really bad, and if there is an incident, then you cannot go anywhere. So, yeah, I think for them it looks at least good on pace, and that's what they need. And we're now in qualifying, so let's see if they will be the favorites going into the race, or that there is somebody else that can actually claim the top spot.
Well, this is round 13 of 16, so obviously entering the end of the season as Ruben starts his first flying lap now, coming into T3 in Singapore. You've got to avoid the walls here. We have found that since R-Factor 2 has been updated, that every time you touch the wall, it does invalidate your lap, so presents a little bit more tricky a Singapore than we are used to.
Yeah, very true. And what it is you want to be as close as the wall without touching it. So that's the thing you want to do. You want to really balance that out. You want to take a lot of risk, but not too much that your lap gets invalidated. So very interesting, and let's see who has got the best balance in that.
Yes, absolutely. Maximising it will be important, and but equally getting the lap times in will be too. So I expect to see quite a few people do some sort of banker times just to get their sort of name on the scoreboard. Ruben currently purple through sector 1, but of course a lot of lap times just coming through. This is the first flying lap for everyone. Luke Mitchell actually currently has the fastest first sector by a couple of tenths. He's looking to also gain on Jack Mayer. Those three are the sort of protagonists for the championship at the moment. Mitchell and Mayer a couple of points ahead of Macheda. I'd say a couple, actually about 18 and 20 or something in that kind of ballpark. I'll work it out exactly in a minute. This section very tricky. You've got to take a lot of curb here through the right-hander. It's a very long lap time here, almost 2 minutes, so you cannot hit the wall, you cannot invalidate that lap time, and Ruben manages to come through this final sector now and will set the first lap time of the session for him.
Yeah, so he sets a good lap time, but it actually was Luke Mitchell who was faster in the first sector. So let's see what he can do. He is now close to completing the lap. I think he was a bit slower in the second sector, so he is quite a bit off, but still goes for the lap. So that's good.
I suspect he's fueled for 2 laps. What I found at Monza, I raced the last round of Monza. What I found was the second lap was still pretty good on the tyres, so a lot of people will be fueling for the 2 laps, and then the in lap. Panasenko goes P7 currently. A lot of people not setting lap times yet. So, and Dan Hutt looks like he's been in the wall too. So difficult early part of the session for the chaps. They've got to for the guys and girls. They've got to go back into the pits and then get back out again as quickly as possible. The lap is so long, and we only have 10 minutes of the session left already.
Yeah, this is a very long circuit, and I think the problem at this circuit is that which curbs can you hit and which curbs are actually throwing you off, and that's something you really need to know, because at least I noticed when I did some laps is that some curbs you can really be very aggressive with, and some curbs are not allowing that, and you should stay away from it. So that's the balance you need to make in a qualifying lap. So
there's some setup tricks you can do. Softening or even detaching the anti-roll bars is something you can do in the FS2 car and actually the FS1 car to make it ride over the curbs easier. And it's actually quite useful at this track. It's such low speed that you don't need the anti-roll bar really that you would need at higher speed. So that's a tactic that I reckon would work well. Luke Mitchell's got some work to do at the moment. He's P15 and he's going 1.7 seconds slower in the middle sector as well. So he's got some time to make up. He'll have to box and go again, I would imagine, and indeed in he comes. So one of our three sort of main protagonists struggling a little bit so far.
Yeah, but they still got quite a bit of the session left. We now see Justin van der Smith, who jumps to P15. Gaps are relatively big, but yeah, people are still pushing. And what does Loic Meunier do? Loic Meunier goes to P4, so good first, I think, first run for Loic. And he will now go to the pits. And what can Dominic Slabon do? Still quite a young and new driver in this field, so I think this is his third or fourth round in this series, even third rounds, and yeah, he is learning a lot. But I would say this is the main learning part. Doing it at a track like this, this will be the real test for Dominic, and I think at least he's going for a reasonably decent lap, at least for a banker, and he will have plenty of time to improve. Let's see what kind of time he can do. Will it be F1:56? I think that's what he is aiming for.
Yeah, that would be a nice solid time. That would put him close to the top 10 if he can get there. Let's see what he does as he crosses the line of 57.4. So yeah, P15. So he has some time to make up. But whilst we're looking at the Academy car, it'd be great to see if you guys are interested in getting involved in GPVWC. We do have the Academy series where you can sort of turn up and drive that don't have to be part of any sort of team. And if you do well, you can get picked up by the Academy team in FS2 to sort of trial and try and get a full-time drive. And it's great that GPVWC has this on the ladder, and it is a great place to start. So do get involved if you want to. It does not matter about your pace. If you're here to learn, then give it a go. Jack Mayer's on a very good lap. He's fractions off in first and second sector. He has to set a lap time at some point. He must have come into contact with the walls a little bit on his first efforts, and already has used up half the time in qualifying. He's coming through the final sector now, and I would say, Jack, keep it away from the walls, mate. Get a lap time in for now and push harder on your next lap.
Yeah, it's all about putting more or less a banker lap in. Oh, he actually hit the wall there, but I think he will get away with that. So where will he end up? Will he be pole position or close to pole position? I don't think it will be pole position, but he's not too far off. So P3 now with 6.5 minutes to go. So Jack will now go to the pits, and I think he will have one lap left, maybe 2 laps.
Yeah, you should get two. You should get 2 laps because once you've left the pits with sort of 4 minutes to go. Yeah. Then you start with 2 minutes to go, and then you get 1 more lap at the end. Yeah. You just have to cross the line before 0, so that would work nicely for Jack.
Yeah, so I think timing is key, and actually I think he did it quite well.
Yeah, you want to time your last lap for as close to 0 seconds as possible. The rubber does develop as the session goes on. The track does ramp up in grip, so the later you can leave your lap, the better. Alistair Pollock, another one that hasn't got a time on the board just yet, and desperately needs to.
Yeah, and let's see where he can jump. I think it will be around the 1:56 as well, maybe a bit slower. Let's see. Oh, it's quite a bit slower, so he's only in P20, but he's got time to improve. So I expect the last laps to be quicker.
Mike Nichols is another one. He's to set a lap time pretty soon. He's on a decent lap, but it's not spectacular. It's going to put him in and around the top 10 if he can finish it up tidily. And he has kept it out of the wall as we come into the last 2 corners. Very fast double left-hander. The last corner itself absolutely flat to the floor as he crosses the line. P10, very good, very good.
Well, Alex Hugo's pole.
Good lap from him. Great lap from him, actually, if you look at the sector times. Almost 2 tenths faster than Macheda. Tuamala crosses the line. He improves but doesn't improve his position. What can Remco do? Another one coming into the last couple of corners now. Runs it all the way to the edge of the track. That looked nice. He crosses the line, does improve, and goes P13, moves up a place.
I must say, I think we see that the gaps are relatively big. I think normally we could see the top 15 within a second. Because of the nature of the track and the difficulty, I think, yeah, we can only see the top 9 guys within a second. Let's see if it will be closer at the end. I think quite a few drivers could have the potential to drive, like, let's say, half a second or even more faster. It all depends if you can put it together, and that's what we want to see.
Scott Mitchell has just done, Mitchell Mam now he's married, congratulations Scott, has just done the fastest first sector as Dan Hutt crosses the line, so he's on an absolute flyer. Scott looking to improve on his grid position of P8 at the moment. He's actually not too far back in the championship. He's where is he? He's about 60 points back at the moment, 63 points back, so he's not completely out of it. He's done a green middle sector. He's just over a tenth off pole position of Lahu, but he is in with a shout here. He's just got to do a tidy final sector. 3 minutes left of the session. If he's got enough fuel for one more lap, he does have another shot at this as well. That was a little bit too wide there, Scott. Missed the apex, and that will affect his lap time as he comes through the left-hander here towards the final couple of corners, right up to the wall. So pushing his luck there with the track limits, comes through here and crosses the line. I think this will improve his position, but not enough for pole. P4,
but yeah, he's on the same page, so that's, I think, very important.
Florian Haase crosses the line, P15 for him. Caitlin Penny, what can she do? Crosses the line, P19. That's an improvement for Caitlin. Time's coming thick and fast now, of course. We're getting towards the crunch point of the session where the track really does ramp up in grip. Scott Morris, he's currently 7 seconds off the pace, so obviously has struggled to set a decent lap so far, but this is a massive improvement for Scott. Let's see if he can get through the last couple of corners and move up the grid for him. He comes across the line. The DRS zone's before the line, so you do get a bit of a boost, and he moves up to P22.
So I think quite a decent time. Well, I do see that Ken Singleton is not out on track, so I think he is wanting to start from the back. Also, Luca Tisano has got a few issues with his game, so he's trying to fix that now. So I think we have still the potential to have 28 drivers, while we just saw Omnik Schlabon go into the wall, and he will be done for this qualifying session unless he will go for another lap. But yeah, it's close to the last minutes of the qualifying, so now we will see a lot of changes. Let's see who puts in a really good sector time.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Luke Mitchell's popped up into P3. I'm not sure exactly when that happened. I must have missed that one. Scott, his brother, P4. Jack Mayer, P5. So, but he's just done a personal best in the first sector. Lexo, purple in first sector.
He's quick, yeah.
Yeah, green in the middle sector. We're watching him on screen now. He's coming into the last couple of corners, looking to improve his position of P6, but he is 6/10 off pole at the moment. Only 3/10 on this lap, and doesn't improve his position. Does improve his time. Ribbley crosses the line. Same for him. He has one more shot if he's got the fuel. Caitlin crossing the line now. She has some work to do, and she has no fuel for one more lap. So that is her session over. Lovely lap from Seifert there. P11 for Roy.
That's very good. Very good for Roy Seifert.
Here comes Josh Downer now crossing the line. And he's got another lap now, so he obviously did a slow out lap or a slow last sector. So one more chance for Josh. And Leho is absolutely trying to extract everything out of that car.
I also see Stepa Panashenko with 2 green sectors. Stepa Panashenko now was in P13. Let's see.
Yeah, that's a decent middle sector actually. So this will be an interesting lap time actually. He could really improve. Coming through the final corner now, P7.
Oh, well done.
Good. Yeah, great lap.
Well done. So yeah, you just see some drivers are growing during the season, and I think Seva is one of those drivers who actually, is performing better round after round, and I think this was a bit of a surprise.
Yeah,
but we're not done yet, so let's see. I think Justin Ruan is got 2 green sectors, as does Alistair Pollock.
Loic Mounier is on a very good lap as well. Very good first sector. Lexo is not improving so much. I need to ask him whether it's Lexoff or Lexo, by the way. I'm sure it's probably Lexo. But he's not going to improve on this lap. Mounier's on green and green as well. It's a really good middle sector. So I'd like to have a look to see the end of his lap. That could put him right
actually jumped to P5.
Lexo does improve. Yeah.
Very Ruven goes pole, provisional pole for Ruven. But what would Loic Meunier do? Can he snatch it away? So Ruven...
Yeah, Macheda did a very, very good last sector, so really improved. Came out of nowhere there. But Mounier's got pace for pole as well. This could be right into the mix. This could be right up there. Let's have a look as he crosses the line.
P3.
P3! So close. So close. In fact, only 0.162 off. That's a great lap from him.
And I think we now had everybody setting a lap time. Yes, I think so.
I think so. So yeah, what a session, right at the death for even Macheda. We weren't following him, but got stonking lap time actually, 54.3. The fastest we saw in practice in testing beforehand was a high 0.4. So what a lap from Ruven, and he does take provisional pole, Menno.
Yeah, and he left it very late, so it's Ruven Macheda for Alex Lehoux and Loic Meunier. So both the Rowan GP cars are up there, and really similar lap times. Luke Mitchell is in P4, and I think he needed that. Scott Mitchell-Malm in P5, Stephen Lexo P6, and our championship leader Jack Mayer, only in P7. It's still relatively good because this track is just a challenge for everyone. Jack Nichols in P8, Seva Panashenko surprising in P9, surprise but a good surprise, and Massimiliano Riboli in P10. Then we've got Jerry van Bussel in P11, Michael Tomale in P12, Roy Seifert in P13, Luca Gray in P14, Remco de Zeeuw in P15, Florian Haas P16, Justin Ruin and P17, Craig Patterson in P18, Caitlin Penny in P19, and Josh Downard in P20. Then we've got the last 7 names, is Alistair Pollock in P21, Dominic Slabon in P22nd, P23rd is Scott Morris, Dan Hutt in P24, Justin van der Smissen in P25, and then we've got Jessica Pletcher in P26, and Kenneth Singleton didn't drive. He will start from the back in P27, and we're still waiting if Luca Tisano can join and make it a 28-car grid.
Which would be fantastic, by the way. A really strong turnout for FS2 at this stage of the season, and hopefully we can keep the grids high for the rest of the season. Singapore being 13th of 16 rounds. We actually head to Japan, Mexico, and Brazil next. So a kind of variety of tracks left in the season, and but this one should be fun. It's a night race. It's a twisty track, and qualifying was very, very close.
We now see everybody going for the warm up and just checking all the system, do a few practice starts. So I'll be making themselves ready for the first race of the evening.
Just before we go for a very quick break, I wanted to ask you, Menno, your opinion on who you think will win this first race, because it's always a good little guessing game. We never really know until qualifying comes around what everyone's relative pace is. I think it's pretty clear that the Rowans have got a decent setup for this round, so I wouldn't want to count them out, but I want to know what your opinion is, and then I'll give mine.
Well, I do believe that pole position is really important at this track. You can overtake here, but only 1 or 2 positions. I'm not sure how much DRS will make the difference, but as long as he has a good start, I think Ruven is in a prime position to actually win this race. And yeah, we know from history that he's quite quick. His pole position lap came a bit out of nowhere still, but yeah, I would say he's up there. Drone GPs will make a very interesting race, so let's see what they can do. And I would say I believe Dan Hayek couldn't drive because of issues with his pedals or something related to that. So great signing so far for ONGP, which actually it was really needed for that team. And I think now maybe this will be their best round of the season. So also play for. But yeah, my money would be on the young German in pole position.
Yes, and I think I probably agree. I would also point out, in terms of straight line speed, the fastest was Tuamala with 236.2, but Macheda 236. Kind of the slowest that we see is 233. So everyone's running pretty similar wing levels here. So all settle on sort of slightly higher downforce, especially compared to Monza, where we're all on barely anything. So it will all be in the DRS and who's brave under braking. So yes, very much looking forward to this one. I think we'll go for a very quick break and then we'll come back ready for the start of the formation lap. So stay tuned, guys. It's going to be a fun one. Welcome back, guys, to Singapore Formula Sprint 2, the first of 4 Singapore rounds, Formula Sprint 2, Formula Sprint 1, Super League Lights, and of course, Super League. I'm joined by Menno, Klont, and qualifying provided an interesting grid. Reuven Machado returns from his absence at the previous round to put it on pole. So Menno's going to read you through the starting lineup, and this should be a very good one. I'm looking forward to this a lot, Menno.
Yeah, very interesting one. It's it's a bit faster than Monaco, but it's still this track is I would say brutal in a way, because you've got some long straights, but it's also working really hard in some corners, and I guess this will be the longest races they will have the whole season. This is from lap time onwards. This will be a long race, so let's see how they will do here in Marina Bay in Singapore. We all know
tire wear is going to be very, very high, Menno, as well. Just quickly, it's going to be I think this is probably the second or third highest tire wear track of the season. Obviously in FS2 it's very difficult to get strategy going, considering the tire change time is so long, but should be a good one.
The strategy is here, keep some tire percentage left for the end. That's, I think, the strategy you want to do, but it will of course be very difficult. So yeah, we shall see how this will go out, and let's see who's starting where. So there we have it. It's Reuven Machado on pole position, with Alex Lehoux in second position, Loic Meunier in third position, and Luke Mitchell in fourth position. Then third and fourth row, it's Scott Mitchell in P5, with Steven Lexo in P6, Jack Mayer in P7, and Jack Nichols is in P8. Then in ninth position we've got Seva Panasenko, with Massimiliano Riboli starting from P10, Jerry van Mussel is starting in P11, and Mikael Tomala in P12. We've got Roy Seifert in P13, with Remco de Zeeuw starting from P14, with Florian Haase in P15 and Justin Ruan in P16. P17 is there for Craig Patterson, and Caitlin Penny starts from P18, with Josh Dowden in P19 and Alistair Pollock in P20. P21 is there for Dominic Slavon, and then P22 is there for Scott Morris. Dan Hutt starts P23rd, and Luca Gray P24. Then the final four: Jessica Pilecci in P25, Kenneth Singleton in P26, Lucas Cesano is here in P27, and Justin Smithson, because of a penalty, he starts in P28. At least I believe it's a penalty. So these are your 28 starters. We're missing, I believe, Tommy Koivunen, and the servo cars, and another car, which actually I already forgot. This is the grid.
Well, interestingly, Luca Gray was another person with a grid penalty, by the way. He starts P24th. We've got Pelletier is still in the pit, so wondering if she will start from the pit lane or make the grid. Just quickly before they make it to the start-finish line, we do have quite an interesting championship battle. I mentioned it earlier, didn't get the points out in time, but Jack Mayer leads with 323 points. And he is starting in P7, so he has a little bit of work to do. Luke Mitchell is 25 points back. He's P2 in the championship, starts P4 here. And then obviously Reuven Macheda, 4 points back of him on 294 points on pole. So it could easily change after this race. Reuven starting on pole definitely helps his chances of getting back in the mix, having missed Italy and Hungary this season, and he's got a long way forwards in his grid box as the grid starts to line up. Final thoughts, Menno, before we go to the start?
It will be mega, but yeah, it will be a very good race, I hope, and I think.
Love that. Right, waiting for the lights. Here they come. 1, 2, 3, 4 lights, and 5. And it's go, but held for a very long time. We're looking at Pelletier as she waits for the field to go by. She will make the start. Reuven gets a very good start from P1 on the grid. Lehoux and Mounier going side by side. Lehoux running a little bit wide, but keeps that P2. Round the outside there was Mitchell Marm. He started P5, and he's now in P6 actually. Mayer going around the outside of him as they go onto this back straight for the first time. No DRS on lap 1, and they are going side by side actually. Yeah, three wide as they come into the left-hander at the end of the straight. It's not really an overtaking spot unless you're completely clear. Mayer holding that inside line. Mitchell trying to go around the outside, but does have to give that one up. So Mayer P5 makes a decent start. Luke Mitchell P4. That's Lexo looking at the inside of Scott, but not making a move there. Most of the grid have made it through cleanly, actually. Not too much trouble further back, so that's good news. It's always a bit of a pinch point. That corner on this track, but everyone's making it through. So far so good. Nichols P8, there's a bit of contact behind him. Panasenko and Ribley making a little bit of side by side contact. Ribley P10, and behind them Jerry Van Bussel defending as they go across the Anderson Bridge into the left-hander, into another DRS zone, but not yet. Lap 1, we don't have DRS just yet. Pulling away at the front is the front 3. They've got a slight gap to Mitchell in P4. Lehoux is actually all over the back of Macheda right now. Yes. Further forwards, he is really trying to make that move. Tuamala up the inside here of Panasenko. They've been fighting away for a couple of corners, but Tuamala thinks better of that one as they head into the final few corners. But as we come towards the final couple, it is Macheda who still holds the lead from Lehoux and Mounier.
Yes, and I just want to say we nearly completed one lap, and I think it's a lap without any damage. And I want to congratulate every driver because this was amazing. But yeah, like you said, both of your own GP cars look so quick. And it's Reuven Macheda still leading, but yeah, Alex Lehoux is hunting and Luke Mounier is following as well. Luke Mitchell and Jack Mayer are also on there. They're all like on a wire, and I think the top 7 are on a wire, and Jack Nichols is trying to get closer, and yeah, there's already a gap to P9, which is Massimiliano Riboli. I actually see Seva Panichenko is struggling a bit to keep on the high pace the front guys are putting on, but still in P10. Mikel Tuamala P11. Jerry Van Bussel started from P11, was already in P13, now back to P12. Let's see, Josh Downard won, I believe, 4 places at the start. I believe Roy Seifert lost a few places, but still racing quite well. Let's see any other changes. Oh, we've got a big fight for P23, Dominic Slabon, Scott Morris, Justin Van der Smisse, and I believe it was Luca Tizano, but Luca Tizano is out, and we've got a spinner, and it is Scott Morris spins and is now in P27 with Dominic Slabon in P26, but no big damage.
Yeah, Tizano had a bit of lag or something, it looked like. and then sort of had to go back to the box. So yeah, unfortunately, Tizano in trouble. We've got Jack Mayer squabbling away here with Scott Mitchell-Marm. Mitchell-Marm gives him just enough room, and through the right-hander they go. Jack Mayer still on the inside, and looks like he's going to hold on to that position. So Jack just about holding P5, but he's dropped back a long way from Mitchell as DRS does get enabled now for the first time. And now we can see whether the front four have pulled enough of a gap, or whether Mayer can get back in there.
Scott Mitchell-Marm is actually looking again, and is Jack Mayer fast enough to claw the time back on Luke Mitchell, or will they just disappear now the DRS will open? Let's see what will happen. Also, let's see what will happen at the front. Yeah, who opens DRS? Mounier opens it, Mitchell opens it, but Jack Mayer doesn't open it, while Scott Mitchell-Marm has it. So, will he get mugged here for P5? He defends. Scott Mitchell-Marm around the outside, but cannot make it the position. Or Ruven Mercedes needed to go very, very defensive to Alex Lehoux. Alex Lehoux wants this win.
Yes, and I don't blame him. He's had some up and down luck this season, but he has actually qualified well, and is looking at race one. Decent results. We watched what happened to Zano and Morris. It looked like lag on my screen, and it kind of looks that way here. And yes, he just disappears. Now what happened to Morris? Ooh, side by side contact, and that's what happened there. Looked like Slabon and Morris got together there. So that's what happened there. Mayer here on the inside of Mitchell. So this is what happened to Jack. So the other Mitchell-Marm, got up the inside and made the move stick. Gave him just enough room on the outside. That was almost perfect actually, but Mayer managed to hold on to it as they headed into the last sector.
Well, I do see Jack Mayer is trying to close a bit on P4. I'm not sure if he's close enough. No, it's 1.3 second at the moment, but he is pushing really hard to get into that DRS train, which is led by, of course, our race leader Ruven. And then we've got the top four now in it. Jack Mayer is pushing hard. I think maybe a bit too hard, because he nearly went into the wall there. Can Jack Mayer be closer to the top four? I am not sure, because DRS will make him lose quite a bit. Jack's
over a second back. It's almost like there's a top four, and then there's a really long snake behind basically behind Jack, further back, as Mitchell-Marm here on the inside of Jack Mayer. Now, has he got enough of an overlap? That was really good driving from Jack around the outside there. Defended that perfectly. Mitchell-Marm might have the cut back, but not quite enough grip there, and this is all single fire here.
We've got Kenneth Singleton out. I think Kenneth Singleton crashed, I think, at the end of turn 1, lost his rear wing, and he is out of the race. What a shame. Hopefully he's back for race 2, but we've got our second retirement.
Ooh, Mitchell-Marm into the wall a little bit there. You don't want to do that too many times. You can pick up some pretty serious damage here. You do not want that. I've just been watching the Rowan GP cars over the curbs as you were talking then, Menno. They look really, really good over the curbs. Suspect they're doing a little bit of a trick with maybe detaching the anti-roll bars or something like that, because they really holding on to the grip levels well, as we try and see what happened to Kenneth Singleton. Difficult to see what happened there. Not going far enough back, unfortunately. But as we head further forwards, if you watch these guys on board, they're really, really holding onto the curbs well, especially through the final couple of corners. They're really making a tenth or two up on Mercedes. So potentially have found something a little bit in the setup, a little bit interesting, and they're also sort of scraping along the floor as well. You see a lot of sparks as they go through the faster parts of the track. So trying to maximize that grip, certainly over the curbs and at low speed.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful when you have got a night race. You see just a little bit more sparks, and it actually makes it for a very nice thing if you see it on board. Well, I see the snake, which is in the top 4. It's a big snake, and they all got DRS. And Jack Mayer is losing a lot of time because he doesn't have DRS. So I don't think it will be any position better than P5 in it for now. But yeah, race still long, and maybe he can claw it back if the top 4 starts fighting again. Yeah, so yeah, we've got the top 4 snake, and then we've got the rest of the snake, and that I think is from P5 to P10.
Oh, we've got a spinner in front of these guys. Who is that? That's didn't look very fun. Justin Ruin, there we are. So a little voice in my ear called Szymon just told me that. So yes, Justin Ruin unfortunately losing his front wing. Let's see what happened to him as he went through the left-hander. I suspect he clipped the curb. Yep. Around it goes.
Yeah,
so,
and it just show on his halo, it just say thank you Justin, because I believe this is his last round of the season, because he cannot make the final few rounds. That's why there's a thank you thank you message on. But yeah, unfortunately he needs to have race 2 to end it on a high. So still
thank you,
another
Justin.
race.
Thank you, Justin, for staying out of the way, because that could have been quite nasty. Now these 4, right, Menno, they've got this gap, but as you said something interesting. You said if the front 4 battle, Jack could be right back in there. I would say not just Jack. You've got Jack Mayer, Scott Mitchell-Marm, Stephen Lexo, a whole bunch of drivers that could get involved. Ribbley's quick. So and Panasenko's doing a great job, by the way, in P10. As you said, one of the most improved drivers this season. So yes, there is a lot of talent there that could get involved if these 4 do decide to squabble. The race is still young, believe it or not. It's lap 6 out of 15. There's a lot of time left.
No, I agreed. And I would say Seva Panashenko struggled initially a bit. I think the first lap was quite difficult, but now his pace seems to be fine, and would be something if he can get a top 10 here. I think it will feel like a win. And we just saw that Jack Mayer needed to defend again for Scott Mitchell ball.
Yes, he's doing that very, very well, Menno. He's defending really well.
Yeah. So once he's got in, Jack got DRS himself, then it will be very interesting for him. I will actually see the top 2 now check out a bit, and Loic Meunier cannot follow Alex Lehoux and Ruven Mercedes. Well,
yes, you're right. He's dropped back a couple of tenths, hasn't he? He's very close to losing DRS here, Meunier. And this is going to give a chance. If he doesn't have DRS, he does still have DRS, so that will help him out here. So Mitchell, as you can see, the straight line speeds all very, very similar. Yeah. Not able to make a move just yet, but as soon as Meunier loses DRS, then he'll be right there.
Well, we've got Scott Morris is now out of the race, but we also got good news. Luca Tisano is back on track. So it was, I think, an internet issue, so he fixed it, and now he's on track again. He will not score any points, of course. He's a lap down or 2 laps down, but he's going for the finish, and I guess he can at least overtake a few drivers, so he can start a bit better for the second race.
Yes, absolutely. You want to make progress in race 1 if you are starting a bit further back. Someone who's done that, Luca Gray, up to P15 from 24th on the grid, taking advantage of some of the retirements we've had so far, and is now behind his teammate, so I'm keeping an eye on him. Back to the front though. Yes.
There is a problem now, because Luke Mitchell dropped out of DRS. So the top 3 has got DRS. Luke Mitchell drops out, and I think it's Jack Mayer who's closer and closer to getting the DRS from him. And he actually has it. Yeah.
So one of 2 things is going to happen here. Either the whole field's going to close up, or Mitchell's dropping to the snake behind the front snake.
Yeah.
So Mitchell needs to just do a really good sector here to get back on the front 3. He's 1.3 on the live, 1.4. So yes, he's got some work to do, Luke Mitchell.
Yes, it can still be that will be that he will be back in the snake. So will be very interesting. So let's look at the top 15 at the moment. So in 15 it's Luca Gray, Roy Seifert is in P14, Remco De Zeeuw P13, Mika Tomala P12, Jerry van Bussel P11, Seva Panasenko now in 10th position, Massimiliano Riboli in P9 with Jack Nichols P8, Stephen Lexo P7, Scott Mitchell-Marm P6, Jack Mayer P5, Luke Mitchell P4, Loic Meunier P3, P2 for Alex Lehoux, and leading the race still is Ruven Mercedes.
impressed by Meunier and Lehoux to stay with Macheda. Before the race, I would have said Macheda would win by quite a few seconds here, just based on his pre-race pace and what he's done this season so far. These two kind of haven't been in the championship hunt, but they're right there. They're really, really close, and Mitchell definitely dropping back. He's going to be in trouble in a lap or two. What was his lap time just now? Yeah, he's a little bit off the pace, you know. Mayer is faster by a tenth actually. 56.3 for Mitchell, 56.2 for Mayer, but the leader's 55.6. In fact, Meunier just did the fastest lap of the race in P3 with a 55.6. So Luke Mitchell has it all to do. Those front three using the DRS, slipstreaming each other well, and not battling, and that's why they're driving away at the moment.
Yeah, but do you think that maybe Luke is saving a bit more tires, that he knows it will be marginal on tires, and that he thinks like, oh, let me at least save the tires a bit, or you think it? Yeah.
Is that what you think?
No, I think actually he might doesn't have the pace, but yeah, yes. It could very well be that he knows it will be tricky at the end, and he knows that that he maybe needs to save a bit more to be there in the end.
Well, Luke does know he just needs to finish ahead of Mayer, continuously finish ahead of Mayer. Florian Haas is in the pits for some reason.
We just saw it, I believe, at the bridge there was a front wing, and I was a bit shocked. It was one of the leaders, but it wasn't. So I guess it might be Florian Haas who lost a front wing, which is easily
sorry,
doable.
go on. Yes, easily doable, absolutely, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but what I would say is you have to be careful of debris. It does sometimes appear out of nowhere and stays there for a few laps, you know, and it can be something you drive over it. It might not necessarily even be visible until the last second, and it can give you some damage. That exact thing happened to, and what's happened here is Jack Nicholls.
Jack Nicholls, he went off just before the where he can drive under the grandstands, and this is, I think, game over for points, and he will go to the pits. I think he will come out of the pits, but this will give Josh Down at P15. He will be happy with that. But yeah, our first victim from the top 10 is Jack Nicholls. So shame for Jack Nicholls.
Yeah, he was doing quite well. I know Jack's a busy boy, always jetting around the world and stuff. Yeah, yes, what happened here then? It's the corner after this, isn't it? Probably.
Did he brake on the
not here?
curb? Oh,
inside wall.
Yeah.
Easily done. If you're following someone in these cars, you kind of, because you are allowing for the dirty air, you turn in early. But if the front does bite, then you can end up doing that, cutting the corner. I found that out at Monza actually. Just because you're allowing for the dirty air, you sort of end up using more lock than you normally would. And then if the front grabs, if the car in front of you is turned in too late, then suddenly you do get clean air. These three look like they're starting to just think about developing this into a bit of a battle actually. So I would like to keenly watch these three. Macheda does have good straight line, I pointed out in qualifying.
Yeah, Scott Mitchell is very close to Jack Mayer, goes around the inside, goes to the inside, no, can't do it. And Jack Mayer's got a better acceleration out of the next corner. So, yeah, Scott Mitchell is looking, but he cannot pass Jack Mayer for now. So this is, of course, very important for Jack Mayer's championship position. So,
yeah, I'm a big fan of the way Jack Mayer is driving this race, actually. He's driving very defensively when he needs to, and doing it perfectly. He's absolutely maximising it. He's been around a long time in GPV, Jack. And little mistake there from Meunier. He's going to have to keep an eye on that so he doesn't drop out of DRS. But Jack, yes, absolutely holding on to that position at the moment. Scott needs to do his brother a favour and overtake Jack Mayer for Luke's championship chances. But Mayer driving actually like a champion right now. Macheda maximising the points he can get at present, but it's gonna close the championship up a little. Meunier dropped out of DRS there?
No, not yet, but I think it will be very close, while Lehoux is actually getting closer and closer. Meunier needs to really hard.
Down the inside, Scott Mitchell, I'm sorry, and finally looks like he's got by Jack Mayer. There was a little bit of contact in the braking zone. I don't think it was necessarily one person's fault or the other. It's just kind of a coming together as they both finding their braking line, if you like. But Mitchell through on. I'd like to see that on a replay if we possibly could, just to see into that corner. What exactly happened. We'll just stay with this battle a second as Mitchell goes in a little bit deep. Mayer trying to get the undercut and cut him back, and in fact he's going to set himself up for the back straight in the DRS zone here. So I don't know if we're going to get a chance to see the replay, because now Mayer has the DRS. He's going around the outside. It's a very tricky move to make here around the outside, and he's going to stick it out. Mitchell needs to give him room, and he has. Mitchell Mam does give him room. Excellent driving by the pair of them. It's still not fully over, but this is kind of a bit more single file.
Yeah, and Germany gets involved with Steven Alexo, who's actually looking into it and thinks like, oh no, I can pass both of them now, but yeah, not yet.
See if we can go far enough back to see this. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Szymon. So as we go down the back straight on the DRS, Scott Mitchell Mam using that slipstream and the DRS. Mayer trying to make it difficult. Does jink left. Yeah, there was a little bit of jinking from both of them. I think that was 50-50. What do you think, Menno?
Well, actually, I didn't see it. I was looking at the other.
Thanks, Menno.
Current battle, so I missed that.
Lexo all over the back of Mayer now, so it does look like Mitchell Mam had slightly better pace. I mean, he was trying to get through, and maybe you're right. Maybe the Mitchell brothers were looking after their tyres towards the end of this race, because Mayer's struggling now. He's got Lexo all over the back of him, even though both have DRS. But Mayer knows how to defend into that corner by now. He's wise to it.
And actually, let me look. Who had the best? Did Luke Mitchell gain that much time? Yeah, he did a very good last lap, and it seems Luke Mitchell is actually catching up to the top 3 again. And
well, Mounier, I think Mounier might be just out of DRS. You know, he's very, very close on that limit. So if he does, Mitchell actually is gaining sector by sector here. Lexo's going to be all over the back of Mayer here into the. What turn is that? T12? I get lost on Singapore, to be honest with you. But yes, this should be a fun final couple of laps here. We're on lap 11 out of 15, so 4 laps after this.
Yeah, and I think the drivers are now starting to feel their car being a bit more like loose from the rear. The main grip is gone. It still provides quite a bit of grip, but certainly. Maybe halfway through the corner you feel a bit more sliding than what you got used to at the beginning of the race. So let's see what will happen there.
Yeah, I having, as I keep saying, but driving at Monzo, I did set the car up for a bit of understeer so that it would look after the rears. It's going to be much more important here.
There. Florian Haase did spin again, and now he's lapped, but he re-entered the track. So Florian Haase has been a bit unlucky on this track, but well, yeah, he's still in competition, so very good. Well, Alex, who is really fast here, will he go for a move? Not yet, just brakes late. Oh, actually tries to do a bit of undercut, but doesn't work. But Alex who looks pretty fast. And the thing is with, I heard something.
Ribley! Panasenko and Ribley make contact. That's not good. And Ribley has no front wing. I think, was that Lexo ahead of Mayer there as well, briefly? Yes, I hear. So, Ribley, no, you've got to look after your car a little better than that, my friend. Let's have a look what happened here. I was just going to praise, so this is how Mayer got overtaken. So, no DRS for Mayer. And down the main straight here, and into turn 7 here, and this is what happened to Panasenko down the inside of Ribley. Yeah, that's not good.
I know what happened. So I think Seva took a bit too much speed in, so he got a bit of understeer. I think Ribley thought I could turn in, but because of the understeer, and the hit, I think Seva got like a bit of too much understeer and nearly went into the wall and then took Ribley with him.
Yeah, I think Panasenko has to take the majority of the blame there, to be honest. That's a lot of overspeed he had there. Unfortunate, because I was really looking forward to seeing where he could finish.
Alex Lehoux is really close now. I think he will go for it. Oh, but he made the mistake accelerating there. But Alex Lehoux wants this win, and I think Ruven Mercedes knows he needs to get this win if he wants to be somewhere in this championship. If he still wants to go for it, he needs to get the full 25 points, especially if Jack Mayer is not doing the best ever job in terms of points. Then,
he's got a chance here, you know. He's got a chance into this corner. Mercedes defend, they make contact. Wow, and Mercedes did absolutely nothing wrong, really. He just drove his inside line, but he had a really, really poor exit there. This is Lehoux's best chance of a race 1 victory. He's only had one this season. That was race 2 at Portimao. So he's looking for a race 1 victory, a pure pace victory, not a reverse grid. And Mercedes is struggling, you know. He's struggling on tyres. He's got this lap and 2 more to do. So this, and Mitchell's right there. Luke Mitchell has caught these 3. And we didn't know which way this race would go, but clearly the Mitchell brothers, they must work together.
Yeah, and
and they've got the tyre wear.
Yeah, the Mitchell brothers, I think, maybe went for a strategy which was a bit more long term. Luke Mitchell is now there, and it's I think 1.5 to 2 seconds to Scott Mitchell. But yeah, I think we will see a lot of fighting the last 2 laps. So it will be a very, very interesting final 2 laps of this first race. And
I agree. It's going to close the championship nicely. This will give, if it stays like this, Mitchell will gain 13 points. Mayer will gain 25. Sorry, not Mayer. Mercedes will gain 25. Mayer only gaining 9 points. So they will close up nicely heading into race 2. It depends what happens these last few laps. You never really know. Jack Mayer sitting in P7 at the moment. He's too far back, I think, to capitalise right now. But certainly Scott Mitchell-Marm is catching as well, you know. And not having DRS has hurt Mercedes all race down the straights. He has a quick car in a straight line, but it's the DRS is very powerful on these higher downforce settings. And the Rowan cars do look better over the curbs, you know. They get better traction. They're just running a little bit softer, I think, one way or another.
Yeah, and you just see Alex Lehoux now trying to get the best exits, different exits to surprise Ruven a bit, but Ruven is not cracking. He is not cracking under the pressure that he's getting at the moment. There is 1.5 laps to go. It can still change, but Ruven looks to be in a good position. But yeah, the DRS is a thing he will fear. And let's see.
Yeah,
he's still got a chance.
He's not cracking, but he is a cracking driver, Ruven. And he's managed to hold on to P1 for the entirety of this race so far. As we get a yellow flag in P3, that must be someone else in that tight section in the wall. But Ruven, I mean, he drove for Nocturne for us in FS1 and won a race. And he knows how to win a race. He knows how to defend from the front. And he's done so very well so far. This section here, this is where the Rowan cars really excel. Through these tight twisty bits, and yeah, he's so close, isn't he, Lehoux? You think just 1 or 2 more laps of this, is Ruven going to make a mistake big enough that Alex can get through?
But I believe he only got 1 lap to go, so it's the final lap now, and I think the main worry for Ruven Mercedes is is the next DRS zone. If he can survive that, he might have to win, but Alex Lehoux is closer than ever. It all depends on the next corner, and the next corner Alex is good. Alex will have a decent chance now with DRS. I think Ruven Mercedes needs to go ultra defensive, and I think he will do. He knows that Alex Lehoux will go around the outside, but he will have overspeed. It will be Alex Lehoux. He turns in. Does he have it? He does have the lead. He takes the lead for Rowan GP in the final lap.
Yeah,
and Luke Mitchell goes to
third.
3.
Oh, they're in the wall. Mooney is in the wall as well. What a move that was from Alex Lahu. He bided his time. Lap 15, last lap of the race, round the outside, perfection. And he now leads a genuine race 1 for the first time this season. He's looking to take his first race 1 victory. I'd love to see this again. Thank you, Szymon. And into turn 7, Memorial Corner, round the outside, later on the brakes. Turns in on the rubber. That's important too. And what a move from the pair of them, actually. You know, Mitchell's was just as good.
Yeah.
Mounier tried to go around the outside. No grip out there. That's all on the grey, away from the rubber line.
Still looking, but no. I think it's gone. And now actually Scott Mitchell is going to battle for that P4. Will he take P4 from Loic Meunier? Not at the moment.
What a topsy-turvy race this has proven in the last couple of laps. Mitchell Mam has an overlap actually here, you know. Oh, he thinks better of it. Probably wise. They head into the last few corners then. Oh, dive up the inside. Nothing doing there. That's probably his last opportunity, to be quite honest. But Alex
we go
Lahu,
to the finish now.
Yeah, what a race. What a drive.
I am a big fan of your work. It is win in race 1 for Alex Lahu from France. Rouven Mercedes, very impressive still. Didn't have a single, well, I believe 1 DRS on the whole race. It finishes in P2. Luke Mitchell, the silent assassin, still gets P3 with Loic Meunier still decent in P4. Let's go Mitchell Mom in P5. What a race! But yeah, I am really impressed by Alex Lahu. When you know it's the final lap, when you know you get 1 shot. That's amazing.
Jerry Van Bussel made me wince there. I thought he was going to drive straight in front of who was that? That was Patterson, Craig Patterson. He crosses the line, but what a fantastic race that was. Honestly, I don't think I've seen a better FS2 race all season. Correct me if I'm wrong, but what
pretty good,
yeah, it was all the tension in those last few laps, and these two rightly celebrating that. Rowan have really shown what they can do here. That was a fantastic result for them.
Yeah, and we still have got race 2 to come.
Yeah, absolutely. One I'm looking forward to, by the way. I'd love to see how many places the grid is reversed. Wait for news on that before we tell you, but I can breathe again. I might have a bit of water, actually, you know. I was doing a lot of talking and shouting that race.
Same here, but very interesting, very cool race. And let's get the official results on the screen. But we're still waiting for people to cross the line. Then we will give you that. So here it is. Alex Lahu wins for Rowan GP. Rouven Mercedes second. Luke Mitchell P3. Loic Meunier P4. With Scott Mitchell Mom in P5. Steven Lexo P6. Jack Mayer only P7 with Seva Panasenko. I believe a career best P8 with Mikael Tomala P9 and Remco de Zeeuw P10. Roy Seibert P11 with Luca Gray P12 and Josh Downard P13. Craig Patterson in P14 and Jerry Van Bussel gets the final point of this first race in P15. The non-point scorers are Massimiliano Riboli, Justin Van der Smissen, Jack Nichols, Dominic Slabon and Alistair Pollock. Then we go to the rest. Jessica Pelletier in P21st, Caitlin Penny P22nd, Dan Hunt in P23rd. And then from 24 to 28 didn't finish. Those are Florian Haase, Luca Tizzano, Scott Morris, Justin Ruin and Kenneth Singleton.
Well, that's not too bad. Only 5 people DNFing at Singapore. It's a tight track. This is kind of the entry-level series, if you like. And I'm really impressed with the lap 1 standards this time round. It's really good.
It was really good.
Yeah, I commentated on Spa and it was a little bit messy, but this was really high standard. I hope it continues into race 2. We always get a bit of a topsy-turvy grid and people kind of go for moves a little bit more often. So I hope the standards stay high, because that was a really enjoyable, clean race to watch in the main. And we had a first-time race 1 winner. Alex Lahu takes his second race win of the season. The first one, as said earlier, at Portimao race 2. So he's been improving as well this season. You know, him and Seva Panasenko both have improved a lot. But Alex, what a drive, and just stealing it from Rouven there. Someone who knows how to win in these cars, is a great result for him.
Yes, great result. So we're now waiting for the warm up and for race 2. I believe we will go on a bit of a break, and then we will be back for race 2.
Welcome back, guys, to race 2 of round 13 here at Singapore in Formula Sprint 2. Remember that Singapore does return this Thursday for Formula Sprint 1, and then next Tuesday for Super Lights, and Thursday for Super League, same time as always. Make sure you do tune in for the remaining rounds at Singapore. If the racing is anything like we saw in race 1 here, Menno, should be good.
It should be very good, but now it will be very interesting because we got these slower, well, a bit slower drivers now at front. We did reverse the top 13 drivers, so it will be very interesting to see how this race 2 will unfold. We currently have got 27 confirmed starters, with I believe Luca Tisano, the one that didn't return for this race. The rest, everybody is here. So we're now waiting for when they start the warm-up lap, and that's now. So let's take you through the race 2 starting grids.
Fire away, Menno.
Yes, so it's Josh Downard on pole position for race 2 with Luca Gray in second position, Roy Seifert in P3 and Remco de Zeeuw in 4th position. Then in 5th position we have Mikael Tomala with Seva Panasenko in P6. With Jack Mayer in P7 and Steven Laxo in P8. P9 is there for Scott Mitchell-Mann with Loic Meunier in P10, Luke Mitchell in P11 and Ruven Machede in P12. Then in P13, of course, we've got our race 1 winner there. It is Alex Lehoux with Craig Pedersen in P14, Jerry van Bussel P15 and Massimiliano Riboli in P16. Then from 17 to 20, it's Justin Van Esmissen, Jack Nichols, Dominic Slaban and Alistair Pollock. Then 21 to 24, it's Jessica Pelletier, Caitlin Penny, Dan Hutt and Florian Haase. And then the final 3 drivers we have got on the grid, it is Scott Morris, Justin Ruan and Kenneth Singleton. So a 27 person grid. So let's see what we will see for race 2. Any predictions, Zoe? What will we see?
Well, I think at the start of this, you said the slower drivers at the front. I mean, Josh Downard on his day is very good, and I've accidentally called him slow before, but he's a decent driver. Has been around for a long time. So he could do very well. It's a big reverse. 13.
Well, we've got Stephen.
In the pits. Interesting. But Josh Downard in P1, so he's looking to do something he hasn't done all season actually, and compete right at the front. I think he's capable, and I hope he does. He's yet to have a podium this season, so I hope he can. That would be nice to see. And his teammate, P7, Jack Mayer, currently leading the championship. He's got Keep Fighting Dad on the cockpit of his car. And sincerely from GPVWC, but personally myself as well, wish you and your dad the very best of luck, Jack Mayer.
Yeah. And let's see what Jack Mayer can do in this race, because I think he learned from race 1 and maybe is on full attack mode for race 2. Of course he is, but maybe he did some changes. So we will see how it pans out. We also will see how where Steven will end up in the race, because he needs to start from the pits. And another guy in is Loic Meunier. Meunier is also in. Hey, that's very interesting. But they all.
So, quick prediction.
Very good. I think Mayer will win this.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Let's see what happens. 2 drivers missing on the grid, starting from the pit lane potentially. We'll hope they do make it for the start. So we wait for the red lights to go on now. Being held a very long time here so far. But from the front of the grid, we do have Downard there in P1. Still waiting for the grid to populate. Oh, Meunier's just popped up onto the grid. So that's interesting. As the lights go red, and then they will go out, and we will be racing for race 2 at Singapore, held for much less time this time round. Downer gets a great start, and behind him, Luca Gray does take P2, also with a good start, and up to P3 straight away. Dezio. Alex Lahoe back there in P12, our race 1 winner. He's looking to make progress. Possibly follow Macheda through, but as they come through turn 3 now, and it's all clean so far. Fantastic news once again from these boys and girls, doing a great job on lap 1 once again. Down the back straight we go, 2 wide. Panasenko on the inside here and looking to take the position, or in fact hold that position, and in fact round the outside. From a slow start, Roy Seifert does take that move. Oh, contact! Nah, that was never going to work. And that was Luke Mitchell, unfortunately, involved in that one. It was a very late move, and Panasenko goes round and has to wait for the whole field to go by. Mitchell drops all the way to the back, and that's going to really hurt his championship chances.
Yeah, that's very true. But yeah, still in the lead, it is Josh Downard, and just give you an idea. It is always amazing when you have that reverse grid pull, but when you then are halfway your first lap still leading, it's just you're fully pumped. And he had I think a very good start, and is doing a very good job at the moment with Luca Gray in P2. And,
I've raced against Luca Gray in real life actually in supercarts a long time ago, and it's nice to see him in the sim racing world as well, and in P2. So he managed to hold on lap 1 to his second place. So watch out for him. Caitlin Penny battling away here in P19. Contact side by side and into the wall, and that wasn't great. A little bit less good than what we saw in race 1. Who was that? Alistair Pollock on the outside there. Kind of squeezed there, I think. I'm afraid I missed the driver involved, but Jack Nichols, P12, he will be looking to make up some positions as he goes down the front straight.
Oh, he's got a spinner down, Hurt spins in the start-finish part, and I think he is done for the...
Oh, look at this. This is side-by-side action as they go onto the back straight. Still no DRS, of course, and in fact, Mayo was held up a little bit there, and behind him, we have Scott Mitchell-Marm looking to get by, and he's going up the inside now. We saw Mayer defending very well in race 1, and he's doing it once again to Amala sideways. It's going to be 3 wide. Someone's going to come up short here. They've managed to make it through. Well driven, everyone, and that could have been nasty actually. But Mayer looking around the outside to Amala, who just about gives him room, and look at Downard's gap. This could easily be a 1-2 for top esports, you know.
Just Downard just needs to do put his head down, because this is he can check out a bit, and I think maybe Jack Mayer will help him a bit, because Jack Mayer now goes for P2. Of course, DRS is not active, so it will be a sprint to the next corner, but the next corner is going to the right, so it might be right for the Finnish guy. But look at Jack Mayer now. He's got a bit of better exit, but no, he cannot get past Pico Sabala. But Jack Mayer looks pretty racy.
Yeah, they're going to be very tight here into the final sector. Tamala's holding up Mayer and by extension the entire pack, and crawling all over the back is Scott Mitchell-Marm. We've got a replay here of what happened as they went into the left-hander at the end of the straight. So Mayer once again defending around the outside very, very well, but it was 3 wide into the right-hander that I'm interested in. That was it was very, very tight. Justin Ruin there in front of us. Tuamala got into the side of Luca Gray there, you know. And then Mayer up the inside. They made it through there, and that, frankly, is a bit of a miracle.
Yes, well, I can tell you it's 4 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. 4 seconds the lead. It's from Josh Downer to Mikel Tomala. And I think Jack Mayer will try everything to give Josh Down even more air, because he is going for P2. It is TUP1 and it is now TUP2, but what will happen? No, it's got Mitchell Mom. He's going for the late move and he can't make it stop.
No. Oh, I think he's lost his front wing, you know. It looked like he had. Maybe he's got away with it.
He got away with it, but he lost a lot of positions. But yeah, he had motivation. Well, Loic Meunier crashes with Remco de Zeeuw. It's all starting now.
Yeah, it is. There's going to be some more contact here. Oh dear. Oh no. Oh, that was teeth dry. I don't know how many cars are involved. There's more spinners. I wish I hadn't said anything about the driving standards. That wasn't great either. And then on the outside here, Roy Seifert with Ribbley. But there was contact after contact in that corner. It was kind of a chain reaction. I saw Mitchell Marm involved. I think he's lost a lot of positions, you know. And that wasn't fantastic. I think Mitchell Marm up the inside, possibly, I couldn't see, was it Van Bussel? Here we go. Let's have a little look here. Causing almost like a secondary event, you know. So as we go back, so Mitchell Marm at the inside, way too late on the brakes.
Yeah.
Just clipped the wall, so he's going to have heavy front right damage. We've got Meunier here. Ruin goes deep. As they go into the next corner, we do have. Oh, that's not great, you know. That's that was never really a gap. And then here. Into the next corner, we've got Meunier and Mitchell Marm make contact. Yeah, that's not great. And then Mitchell Marm himself goes at the inside of, I think, that's no good at all. Van Bussel, I think that is, and that rejoin is terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, that's.
We had some people in the pits, and Alex Lehoux is already out, and Loic Meunier went into the pit. So from great race 1 for ONGP, it's nothing at the moment in race 2, and yeah, TOP is everything what's happening now.
Yes, P1 and P2, Tuamala P3. He's had a good race so far, Tuamala. Needs to cling on to Jack Mayer if he's got any chance of stealing P2 off Downard. You know, Downard's still got decent pace, but Mayer is reeling him in, and you'd think for the championship that Mayer will be let through. I don't know about those guys, what they have going on in their team, but certainly that's what I would do in their position. Ribbley here is behind Ruben Macheda, who has made positions kind of quietly, got dodged some of the contact. He's got Jack Nicholls in front of him. He's got decent pace, so he could still make up some positions here. And Ribbley's just kept that out of the wall. But Jack Nicholls' P5 is driving well, so that's good news for him.
Yeah, very well. Well, I must say Jack Mayer is getting closer and closer to his teammate. It was 4 seconds, it now is 2 seconds. So yeah, Josh Downard is trying everything, but he gets reeled in by his teammate. But of course he didn't pass. So let's see that happen. Yeah, it's 1.4 seconds. Jack Mayer currently is faster than Josh Downard. Maybe there was a bit of a mistake from Josh Downard, but he still has got the lead. So yeah. Josh Downard didn't put a foot wrong at the moment and still is leading. Now looking at the battle for P5.
He made a small mistake in sector 1, I think, Josh. So maybe ran a little bit deep in turn 1, 2, 3. That's where Mayer made most of the lap time up, but he's going to be soon inside DRS, Jack, of his teammate. Here, Macheda has got a great run on Jack Nicholls down the back straight. He does have DRS. It's a very tricky overtaking point, this, on the track. You have to be fully alongside. It's so tight on the exit. But Macheda making ground well. Caitlin Penny is driving a great race in P11, you know. That would be a fantastic result for her. Panasenko trying to go around the outside here. That's Stephen Lexo involved as well. And up the inside goes Panasenko. And he's made that move stick, you know. Oh, Josh!
Oh, Downard!
No, Josh!
No, and he lost his front wing, so he's out of contention for a podium, of course, which is really sad. So this changes everything.
Yeah. Just a little bit wide, no. What did he do? Turned in a bit early, perhaps? Oh, do you know what?
Rear.
Yeah, just lock the rears. He'll be kicking himself. And genuinely, I'm really sorry for Josh there. I think he was in with a chance of a podium for the first time this season. And now he's going to have to box for a new front wing. These things do happen though, and you know, it's one of those things you can't always drive a perfect race. But Jack now inherits the lead, and our championship leader leads the race, so he's looking to extend his position. Luke Mitchell's course up to P13. You know, he could still be in with the chances of decent points, because he's going to get at least one from down to boxing for a new wing, and he's got decent pace, so he could still make up some positions here.
Agreed, and race is far from over, so let's see where it will end. But now it's Jack Mayer who leads, and Mikael Samalo actually can follow quite okay, so he's now in P2. And if I remember it correctly, I believe Mikael Samala never won a race in this series.
He certainly hasn't this season. He's had one podium at Azerbaijan, I think.
Yeah. So he will be very interesting to actually go for that. But for now I think it's plan A is driving away with Jack, and then maybe with a few laps to go, if there is more speed in the car, he might go for it. But I think Mikael is smart enough to think long term now, and when we're closer to the finish, we will have a bit more short term thinking. So
yes.
With currently Luca Gray now in P3, and his P3 looks pretty okay now.
He's got a nice gap. He has got a nice gap. Just checking, Tuomala did have a P2 at Hungary, which I'd forgotten about. But yes, it's certainly a good gap for Luca Gray, who did win a race at Azerbaijan. I'm looking at the championship standings, which I also had forgotten about. So Luca in P3, doing a good job there. Mercedes has made it up to the back of, or still up with Nichols here. It's up to him how he plays this race. If he plays the long game here, looks after his tyres, we're only just over a third distance. It's a long way to go. If he protects his tyres and doesn't battle too hard with Nichols, who will have decent pace right now. Nichols, I don't know personally, but historically has kind of dropped off a little bit as the races go on. He often has very good pace for the first few laps, but does use his tyres quite heavily. So if Mercedes sits behind him, waits for those tyres to drop off potentially, and then jumps on the chance of overtaking, then that could be how he plays this. Equally, he might feel he's faster and can overtake and make his way towards Luca Gray and Tuomala. Then beyond that, Munier setting fastest lap down in P17. He, of course.
Oh, and we've got Seva Panashenko, and Seva Panashenko lost his front wing, so that's very sad to see for Seva Panashenko, who now will come out, I think, in P20. Yeah, I think P20 or P21, but a shame for him. Luke Meunier now is in P17 and is hunting for points.
Luke Mitchell here trying to get by Van der Smissen. He's kind of, he's still in with a shout, you know. I've said it just now, but there's a few guys in front of him he'd fancy a chance at overtaking. He's got to clear Van der Smissen relatively quickly. Ruin in front of him. Craig Patterson P8 doing a decent job now. He's back in FS2. But Mercedes and Nichols, I'm most interested to see what Mercedes does from here. Tuomala is quite close to May, though.
Yeah, he's very close, and didn't yet go for a move, but maybe that will happen in the next couple of laps. We will keep an eye on it.
Luke obviously drove a very good race at race 2 at Monza, having had quite a big grid penalty in race 1. He is keeping himself in the championship hunt with kind of sporadic decent results. Really needs to nail down both race 1 and race 2 for the rest of the season if he wants to challenge Jack. But he's got to get by Van der Smissen in the immediacy, and he will have DRS here. So will Van der Smissen, but he's got a very good run as they go toward P1. Van der Smissen moved a little bit late there, but he's still okay. Down the inside goes Luke and covers the position nicely. Van der Smissen would do well to follow him from here.
Yeah, I think that's his plan. I think for Justin it would be very good if he gets some points, and I think that's the focus.
Yes, I agree with that. Roy Seifert's doing well in P7. I'm just looking through the grid. He's showing decent pace, you know. And Massimiliano Ribley as well, P6, making up for his race 1 finishing position. We've got Lexo here down the outside of Caitlin Penny, who is running very well up the order at the moment. And through goes Lexo, and Mitchell Marm as well, recovering after his earlier incident that he will do well to dodge a penalty for. And he is, he's right behind Lexo. Yeah, those two can still score decent points too.
Yeah, and that's important for their championship, of course. But what I noticed is, we've got an overtake for P4. It's Rufo Macheda who passes Jack Nichols for P4. What I noticed is that Luca Gray is losing a bit of time, and Luca Gray is actually backing the whole group a bit up. But now it's actually Rufo Macheda who went for the move for P4, and I think now will be really fast hunting towards P3.
Yes, and then he's got to decide how hard he pushes for the rest of the race, whether he settles on P3. So, Nichols got way too much oversteer on the exit. A bit too much loud pedal. And through went Macheda. That was actually relatively easy in the end. So Macheda, in fact, yes, you were absolutely right. He's closed in on Luca Gray quite quickly. You can see the difference the DRS makes to the ride height on the rear. You know, when you open the DRS, you have a lot less downforce and obviously a lot less drag. That's where you get the top speed from. But Luca Gray sparking all the way down the straight, but Macheda not even a hint. So it really does raise the rear ride height. Quite difficult to balance in the setup. But Macheda is going to be soon all over the back of Luca Gray. And down this back straight, I fancy Reuven to get him here. He's going to slipstream him. He's going to go to the outside. That is the shorter run down the kink. And Luca lets him have that one. Good driving from Luca Gray. Macheda up to P3.
You know, up to P3 is what he of course wants for these championships.
Luke Mitchell I think just went round. I don't know if it was a full spin. It was kind of a half spin. As he was trying to overtake Ruin in front. He got away with it. He didn't do a full spin. He managed to hold on to it. I wonder if he has damage. Love to see this on board. No, his wheel looks pretty straight to me. I think he just did, he locked the rear just like Josh Down did earlier. But for him, he didn't end up in the barriers and lives to fight another day.
Yes, and still in P10, I believe. So he can just try it again on Justin Ruin. But let's see if he gets another shot on it, because we still got 6 laps to go.
Umalo, I noticed, have dropped out of DRS of Jack Mayer. So I think Jack can breathe a little bit easier now. Just stroke it home from here. He's got a 7.5 second gap back to Reuven Macheda in P3, who I don't believe Reuven Macheda can really gain that much in the last 5 laps. That would be a very impressive performance considering how fast Jack is right now. Mayer, in fact, is on his last lap, did his fastest lap of the race and a 56.1. Macheda only a 55. He did a 55.9, his fastest lap actually. But nevertheless, that's only 0.2. It's not enough to gain. And Tuamala did drop back and out of DRS. He looks like it's settling down a little. That top 3. It's not quite the Grand Slam finish we had in race 1, but certainly fights going on through the field. Look at Jack Nichols up 13 positions from P18 on the grid. So he's drove a really nice clean race to get up to there. Justin Ruin up 17 positions as well. Very impressive. Despite being overtaken by Luke Mitchell here for P9, and Luke actually made that one look remarkably easier than the last time he tried it. So Luke up to P9.
Well, we've got Jerry Van Bussel overtaking Caitlin Penny for P14. So Caitlin Penny still has got a point, but I think Dominic Slabon wants to steal a point away from Caitlin. So let's see what will happen there. Well, we've got a huge group of drivers with huge group, only 4 drivers, I think, or it's 3 drivers. It's Justin Van der Smith in 11, Stephen Lexo and Scott Mitchell-Malm. And they both want to pass Justin, but Justin thinks no, I like it here. So goes defensive. Yeah, Justin knows how to do this, but Steven looks to be a little bit quicker, so he is a bit more aggressive here. He's going to try it. No, he half spins.
They got hooked.
Yeah, and was that more or less his own mistake? I mean, Justin needs to turn in at one point, right?
It's a tricky one. I want to see this on board from Van der Smissen actually, because I think, well, let's watch it from here, because it looked to me like Van der Smissen didn't really give him enough room on the inside. There's you can see just only a little, but they got hooked on the wheels. It's not really enough room there, Van der Smissen, and Lexo unfortunately, well, he survives, but loses his position.
And now Justin loses a position to Scott Mitchell-Malm. And let's see what will happen the next couple of laps, if Steven will get past as well. I think he is pretty close.
I think Lexo deserved a little bit more room than that. He was alongside far enough, in my opinion.
Lexo will actually go for the overtake now on Justin.
Yes. He's got enough of an overspeed there. He'll get him there. Yeah.
Oh, so Justin brakes so late. He brakes so late. They touched wheels, but he still got the inside. Steven still got the inside. And he got the place. But that was hard work for.
It was. It's not over yet. Van der Smissen's still there behind Lexo, and looking to make that move back. But yeah, no, Lexo's got more pace down the straight there. It seems he's running slightly less wing. Just accelerated away. Or he's got better traction, but one of the two, or both. But made that one look a little easier. Ribbley, he's right up with Jack Nichols. You know, Jack in P4 has dropped back from Mercedes since he was overtaken, and Ribbley right there looking to make a move on Jack. But he's not quite close enough in this last sector. There's not really any overtaking opportunity now until T1. So Ribbley just needs to stay nice and tight, stay out of the dirty air as much as he possibly can. Bounces him across the curb a little bit there, loses a tenth or two. He will have DRS, but it won't be close enough. Mercedes does set a fastest lap, but he did gain almost a second on our leader then. And in fact, he did gain a second on P2 to a miler. So Mercedes not necessarily out of contention for P2, but still a long way back. He's got 4 seconds to make up in 4 laps on 2 miler. But the last lap he will have DRS if he gains to second per lap. So watch out for that one.
Yeah, it will still be difficult, but yeah, of course, if the tires or Mikel are done at the end, of course it can go pretty fast towards Reuven. But yeah, for now Mikel has got it in his own hands.
Two people who have driven very good quiet races: Roy Seifert in P7 and Craig Patterson P8. Both of them have kept themselves relatively out of trouble so far. Survived kind of the early lap nonsense, and Seifert very impressive in P7, I would say. Craig also P8, both ahead of Luke Mitchell.
Luke and Loic Meunier spins. Loic Meunier spins. He was going for P16 and now spins out of the race. Oh, he was on for a point. I think he was close to get the point. Well, Jerry van Bussel, I think, spun as well, and Jerry van Bussel is out as well. So 2 runners just outside of top 10 are now DNF'd, and this will give P13 to Justin, P14 for Caitlin, and that's 1 point for Dominic Slabon. And Dominic Slabon wants to have that single point to get himself on the board, and that's very important for him. I'm not sure what happened with
strange retirement, that one. But that's both Rowans out, and they had such a great race one. Laho and Laho and
Luca Gray without a front wing. Luca Gray also in trouble. More trouble for Luca Gray. Luca Gray needs to pit now, and what will change that? Quite a lot in the top 15 again. This is Singapore. When you don't expect it, you think, okay, now they will drive to the finish. Now then something like this happens, and Luca Gray will lose quite a lot of time. It will promote a lot of drivers again.
Yeah, this is more what I was expecting from race 1. You know, the amount of retirements that we've got here, and the amount of damage. Frankly, race 1 was a very clean race for most people, and was very impressive. This is obviously people picking up more damage, being a bit more aggressive. Ribbley here on the outside of Jack Nicholls looking for P4. Tags him on the a little bit on the rear. Luke Mitchell here trying to overtake Craig Patterson. This is for P7. So Mitchell, having spun and been right at the back, made it all the way to P7. He's got his head down and really concentrated, got the lap times in. So the action is continuing, you know. Let's see what happened to Luca Gray here. Turns into the right-hander. Nothing too wrong there. Yeah, let's see what happens around the left-hander here. This is quite an easy place to lock up. And still okay so far. Takes a big chunk of curb. You know what's going to happen? He's going to bounce across the inside curb and into the outside wall, I reckon.
Oh, same as
Nicholls. Yeah, same as Nicholls, Jack Nicholls. So yes, absolutely, turned in too early. This time, that was all just concentration. To be honest, he wasn't following a car or anything. Ribley still behind Nicholls, so that he hasn't made it past just yet. And right behind him looks Roy Seifert, doing a decent job of staying in this little battle. Mercedes is going to catch Tuamala.
Yeah, he is catching him. So let's see, what's the lap time of Tuamala? 57.1. It is the 56.1 from Ruben Mercedes. So he's catching with another second. So yeah, 2 laps to go. I think he should be at least be able to get to the back of the car of Tuamala. But if he can pass, that's of course that's we still should see if that's possible.
Yeah, let's have a little look at their lap time. So Mercedes on the last lap, once again a second faster than Tuamala. He has the fastest lap of the race, Mercedes, so he has really, really good pace. Jack May is too far away for him to catch, but keep an eye on those live gaps at the top left of your screen. Mercedes less than 2 seconds back. Ribley clearly less than 2 seconds back of Jack Nicholls, who has, we just watched on the replay, defend very, very well, braked a little bit later and held the apex. Here's Scott Mitchell-Mann up the inside of Justin Ruin, who left him plenty of space. Seem to be watching Mitchell-Mann make a lot of overtakes. But he's done a decent job of the majority. A couple of questionable ones, but he's made his way back through the pack. Ribley seems to have dropped back a little bit from Nicholls on this lap. Just in that middle sector. I wonder if he made a little mistake, but he's still definitely in with a chance here.
Yeah, well, we're actually looking what is the gap between Mercedes and Tuamala. I think it is still more than a second, and then it will be difficult for Ruven. It's still doable, but I think Mikael has got it all under control for now. Because we will have one more lap starting, well, more or less about now. So final lap for Jack Mayer. Did a very good lap. So it's a 57.1 for Mikael Tuamala and a 56.5. Yes. So Ruven Mercedes didn't gain that much time on this lap. It's only half a second on Mikael Tuamala, and I think he will run out of laps. So Mikael Tuamala has got it all in his own hands, the P2. But he still needs to bring it home. Jack Nicholls is still in P4, but he's got a lot of pressure from Italy. From Massimiliano Ribolli. Can Ribolli steal P4 away? And yeah, shout out to Roy Seibert, who did an amazing job this race, and also for Craig Pedersen in P8.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And frankly, Justin Ruin in his last race as well in P10 is also doing well.
We also got a very good battle now for for P13. It's Caitlin Penny against Dominic Slabon, who, I think Dominic Slabon is quite a bit faster now than Caitlin Penny, but yeah, will he be able to overtake? Caitlin Penny is pushing, but yeah, for now ahead, but yeah, Dominic is getting closer and closer, but can't overtake for now.
Mercedes made a little mistake out of T5 onto the back straight, so unfortunately I think that one's done, but this one's certainly not. Luke Mitchell looking to take that position from Seifert, and onto the back straight we go with DRS. I don't think Seifert's going to get it. This could be one more position for Luke and one less for Roy as they go into the right-hander. Roy defending very, very heavily. That's a little too heavily, Roy. And that's going to leave you very vulnerable to a cutback, and Luke makes that look easy as a result. You need to be a lot further left to defend that properly. Give your opposition one car's width. But Jack Mayer doesn't need to defend from anyone. He's took the lead from Josh Downard, stayed there for the remainder of the race, and frankly, that was a fantastic drive from Jack Mayer. Tuamala P2 in the end, held on from the fight of Reuven Machado, who nearly got him, but not enough laps for him. Jack Nicholls P4 from where he started in P18. What a result for him. Ribley, Mitchell, Seifert, Patterson coming across the line now. Mitchell Mann behind him, a scruffy race from Scott by his standards. Justin Ruin P10, Lexo and Van der Smissen P11 and P12. And shout out to Caitlin Penny, who has held on from Slabon, and she's done a great job.
But another shout out to Dominic Slabon, who gets his first points in the career ladder. Well done, Dominic. Well done, Caitlin.
Yes, absolutely. Luca Gray will be thinking as he crosses the line what might have been. He had a podium in his own hands at one point in this race, and unfortunately finishes in P15. And yes, for what I thought might be, I kind of was hoping for, a really strong fight at the front. Jack Mayer made it look very, very easy in the end.
Yeah, he made it look easy, but he needed to work for it. So well done, Jack.
So as we wait for the final cars to cross the line, take us through the official results then, Menno, and I think Jack will be pleased with this one.
Yeah, I think he will be very pleased with this one. This is, in this stage in the championship, it's very important. So it's Jack Mayer who wins. Mika Tuamala is second, with Reuven Machado P3, Jack Nicholls P4, Massimiliano Riboli P5, Luke Mitchell P6, Roy Seifert very good P7, Craig Patterson P8, Scott Mitchell P9, and Justin Ruin P10. Then from 11 to 15, the point scoring positions are Steve Alexo in P11, Justin Van der Smissen gets his first points, I believe, in the FS2 this year in P12, Caitlin Penny P13, Dominic Sabon gets his first points in P14, and Luca Gray P15. The non-scorers this race are Seva Panasenko, Florian Haase, Jessica Pelletier, Jerry van Bussel, and Loic Meunier. And then we've got Josh Downer, Scott Morris, Kenneth Singleton, Remco de Zeeuw, Alex Lehoux, Alistair Pollock, and Dan Hutt not scoring. While we have somebody doing donuts, and it is Jack Mayer, so hopefully we can stay on that. Donuts are always nice, especially from the championship leader with 3 rounds to go. So Jack Mayer gives us a bit of a show and now parks the car. So you just saw the rest of the year. We've got 3 rounds to go. The next round will be in 2 weeks' time at the Great Suzuka track. So I'm always personally love that track, and it will always give some very interesting races. And we also have got the Mexican and Brazilian Grand Prix up this season. So lots to look forward. Toby, anything to add?
Yes, I think once again we kind of got 2 sides of Formula Sprint 2 tonight. The participation was great. We had a nice full grid, lots of keen people. Race 1 was lovely and clean, and lots of fantastic battles all the way through the field. And then kind of race 2, everyone sort of lost their head a little bit in the first couple of laps, and it's you can kind of see where people are trying to make moves on each other. That just a little bit more learning needs to go in, and this is why the career ladder in GPV is so important. If you want to start racing, come in to the academy, give that a go, sign up for a team in Formula Sprint 2 if you get picked. That'd be fantastic. And this is where you can start, and this is where the learning happens, and you can see some of the young drivers that we get in this series. Jake Dennehan won it last year with some very impressive drives. He's in Formula Sprint 1 this season. I think he'll be in at least Super Lights, but probably Super League next season. So it can happen for you. You can perform well in these lower leagues, and it is important to note that every driver who enters these the GPV career ladder has to start somewhere, and it is great to see people getting involved and doing well. So, I might have been a bit harsh in race 2 with some of those moves, but everyone's got to learn, and frankly, I've enjoyed both races, and I would love to hear from some people.
Yes. So, who should we drag in first?
You choose. You're
You're
the boss, mate.
I think the one that impressed me a lot is Alex Lehoux, so let's get him in first. So let's see if Alex is there. Hello, Alex.
Hi.
So, you were the man from race 1 with an amazing last lap overtake. Of course, a bit of bad luck in race 2. Take us through your races and through the overtake.
Well, first of all, in qualifying, the classical provisional pole getting stolen at the last minute. Thank you very much, Ruben. But yeah, super race 1 kept the gap super close within the race. The more the race progressed, and the more I could see Ruben struggling on the front tires, there was a moment that I was even catching up in the dirty air while he was in front, and that was the final lap on the 4th corner, I think, with the DRS zone. Pulled an overtake, I knew I had the overspeed, gave enough space because didn't want to get shunted. And there you go, race 1 win. Race 2 was a little bit unfortunate. Well, unfortunate, I mean, I managed to overtake Ruben with the overspeed thanks to an incident in front of me. But Remco decided it was a good idea to, try and snatch the position from the guy on his left. So he braked way later with no front wing to be seen alongside me, and there was the contact. Shame, but it is what it is, I guess. Good race.
Yeah. So we've got any questions for Alex here?
Yeah, salut, Alex. How are you, mate?
Hi, Toby. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. I have a question for you about your setup today. It looked like you were able to look after your tyres very well towards the end of race 1, and also ride the curbs really well. You and Munier both kind of really caught the Reuven towards the end. What's the secret? I mean, what did you develop differently this time that perhaps you hadn't previously?
Basically, I tried to focus on a setup that had oversteer and on which I could have balanced tire wear. So like no understeer on the front at the end of the race, and it worked quite well. Setup was good, and that's my weak spot, but P2 still good thing. But yeah, the secret to today balanced tire. And
Yes.
also the rotation as well.
Excellent. Well, that answered my question perfectly. Thank you very much, Alex. Congratulations on winning race 1. I know you were looking forward to doing that all season.
All right, wait, I got a note from Remco. I'm sorry, man. Just named me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Well, thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Toby, and see you in 2 weeks, or maybe before.
Menno,
Okay.
who should we speak to now, my friend?
Let's get in Reuven, I would say. So I will drag Reuven in. Let's see if he is there. Hello, Reuven.
You forgot to move me.
Oh yeah, Alex, sorry. So we move Alex back and Reuven in.
Yeah.
So you start, Toby, this time.
So, hi, Reuven.
Hello.
So, opposite question that I just asked. What made it so that your tyres dropped off in race 1, so that obviously the Rowan cars caught you so much, were able to fight with you? Was it just that you maybe didn't have the setup for the race, and it was kind of a quali setup, or?
Well, the setup only trained like 20 laps or so. I didn't train so much because of school. And yeah, in race 1, my tire, I saved in the first 5 laps, I saved my tires, and then I decided to push. But this was 1 lap too early to push, so I got under 60% on the rear, so yeah, then the rear tire is pretty much undrivable. So yeah, but still happy. I mean, P2 and P3 is good for the championship also.
Yes, I think you have got 2 good results for the championship. Menno, you have a question for Reuven?
Yeah, well, looking forward now. 3 rounds to go. What are your ambitions for those rounds? And is there any favorite track coming up?
I think Japan is a pretty nice circuit to drive. Also, Brazil is nice. Mexico, I don't like the circuit for Mexico, but I think my ambition is to get maybe everyone at least a podium that maybe I can try to win this championship. But I think Jack, yeah, he has been pretty strong all season, pretty consistent. So yeah, we will see about that and hope for the best.
Yeah, I agreed on that. So yeah, we hope for the best for you, you as well. So yeah, thanks for being here, Ruben.
Yeah, thank you.
So let's drag him out. So anyone we should drag in now?
I
Toby?
think we need to speak to Jack Mayer, don't we? I mean, let's be honest, he did win race 2, so let's have a quick chat with him.
Yeah, let's drag him in. So let's see if he is there. Hello, Jack.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Jack. So let me start this time, Toby. So race 2 win. It looked pretty easy. Was it that easy? And talk us a bit through how race 1 was.
Well, obviously I started from what I would consider a bad position in race 1 because my qualifying was just horrible. The first lap I went on, I hit someone's, I think it was Tamala's wing at turn 4. And I had to abort that straight away. And that left me basically having to do 2 runs. And the first run was messy. And the second run, again, like I just could not hook the lap up together today. So it was not great starting just below mid top 10. But we had a good start, made up a few places with Luke, which is where we needed to be. And a bit of contact, racing side by side, dropped back a bit from him. And then as the race went on, it was just trying to keep up with Luke and chase him down. But towards the end, with how hot it was in my room today, my vision just went so blurry, and it was just a race of survival. I had the same at Hungary when we had the heat wave in the UK, where I'm just driving around and I'm just driving on the tarmac because I can't see anything else with how hot it is and with how blurry my vision was. So having that at Singapore wasn't great. So that was my excuse for the drop off in time in race 1. But to finish basically where I started, I mean, at least we didn't lose anything from that. But then race 2, again, good start, making our way through the people quickly. Obviously, I think one of the Sparks had a bad start. I think he bogged down or something. But then we were just chasing down Josh, who unfortunately, just as we caught him, he lost the back end through, I think it was turn 10. And that was unfortunate because I think he was on for at least a P4, if not a podium, towards the end. But I was sad for him. But from that point, I really was just kind of cruising, saving the rears because I saw Mikhail behind's back end was sliding a little bit, and I knew he was going to drop more at the end. So I was just kind of saving the rear tyres, not pushing too hard. And then about 3 laps to go, I saw Reuven's fastest lap, so I went for that just to take that at the end. And yeah, we just brought it home pretty comfortably. GG to Alex and Reuven as well on podium, race 1.
Yeah, Jack, I wanted to say, I mean, race 1, you defended very, very well from multiple attacks from multiple people. And experience clearly was counting for that. Do you feel that will help you through these last 4 rounds of the season, considering kind of your relative experience versus Reuven and Luke? I think you're now roughly 22 points to Reuven, 27 to Luke. You must start to consider yourself favourite now. Is that how you feel, and do you think the experience will matter?
I mean, I think experience matters, especially for race 2. Making your way through, and I think Reuven's demonstrated that he's got plenty of great racecraft, and even Luke has. He's been a bit unfortunate at times, but even Luke had a good race, bringing himself up to, I think it was P6 at the end, or P4, I can't quite remember.
Yeah, but P5.
P5, so somewhere in the middle. But I think I am ahead by 22 points. It was, I think, 25 points going in today, and they are gonna, both Luke and Reuven are gonna chase me down. We've got 3 races to go, and there's over 50 points, just under 50 points, per race. And Reuven is really fast this year. He's every race is up there, and he's not really putting a foot wrong, especially in the second half of the season. So it's not over. It's not over until we finish Brazil in the lead. But I don't think experience there's any advantage I have over Reuven or even Luke. You know, Luke actually was racing last year in in Formula Challenge as it was, and I was racing in the Super Lights, which is more of a longer race, and there's a bit more planning throughout the race. Whereas the sprint races, you take the positions when you can, otherwise you could miss out a lot. And I think Luke's got the advantage over that, having the last season, and I think that's shown this year. He's done really well this year, fighting for the championship, and I really think it's all to play for until we're out of Brazil with a champion, really.
Hopefully. I think Reuven has missed his last race of this season, so hopefully all three of you can sort of light up the grid again for the remainder of the season, because it has been a kind of twists and turns the whole way through the season. But really well driven today. I think you drove in both races, champion races. So well done, Jack.
Thank you. Yeah, it has been very up and down. Obviously, it's not nice seeing Reuven miss a few races because we always want the three of us there. But all I can do is score the points that I can. And thankfully, this year, each race I've entered, I've scored points, no DNFs, and they've all been point scoring. So I'm hoping to continue there for the final 3 rounds.
Perfect. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
So I think that were all the interviews for today. So let's end this broadcast soon. So we will be back with another FS2 broadcast in 2 weeks in Suzuka. So that will be round 14. So already looking forward to that. Of course, here in Singapore, we're not yet done, because in 2 days' time we will have the Formula Sprint 1. Then next week we will have Super Lights and Super League also from this beautiful track. So I think we're not done with all the drama. There's plenty more drama to come. Anything to end on, Toby?
Only to say thank you once again for putting on a great show here at GPV. We've got some nice big plans, hopefully, for the future. And I'm looking forward to how the whole career ladder develops moving into next season. There's been some decent buzz over at our Discord at GPV in the last few weeks, and I'm feeling really positive about it. And FS2 is the start of the career ladder, and there are some fantastic names in here that I think we'll see in the future, and we've definitely been mentioning a few today. So once again, thank you for having me, Menno. I've really appreciated once again being given the opportunity to commentate here, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I have one question for you. And I asked this question a few weeks ago. Who's your favorite for the title?
Favorite for a title? Well, yeah, it will be very easy to now say it's the one that's leading. So I would say I think Jack is clear favorite, but it is racing, and you just see that if you don't get it right, you can lose a lot of points. And it now looks to go a bit to Jack's way, but yeah, it can go still go very wrong, and wouldn't be the first time. So yeah, they need to keep on it, and yeah, I think it might be closer than we all think at this moment in the championship.
Yes, I agree. Well, thank you very much, and a big thank you to Szymon Frelik on the cameras today. Wasn't feeling the best. We had him in our ear, coughing all the way through. I hope you get better soon, mate, because that cold or whatever you have sounds pretty nasty. So thank you, mate, for being on cameras today. I don't think the camera people get thanked enough, frankly. They give it their evening just like we do, and don't really get a chance to say anything. So thanks, Szymon.
Bye-bye, and see you in 2 weeks' time. you.